It started back on May 25th, 2019, when something else came forward to change the world and add more professional wrestling to the industry. Call it a paradigm shift, call it making money moves, call it whatever you will, as we go back to where it all began at the MGM Grand for the sixth time in its 5-year history. This is AEW Double or Nothing. Welcome, everybody, to the prediction show. Let's freaking go. Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to another simple edition of City Predicting AEW brand. You know what this is, from the man, the simple brand, and the voice of the jam for great professional wrestling. Damn it. And my name is Noel Foster, and with me on this occasion, it is my color analyst in all things wrestling, practically to a degree nowadays, too, representing Jay Hebert Studios. It is, of course, he's different. James Hebert. James, here we are once again. The MGM Grand awaits tomorrow evening, but here we are on Saturday with Simply Predicting. How are you, my friend?
I am doing very well, good sir. Looking forward to tomorrow for the card itself, with the exception of, you know, probably two matches. But yeah, we'll get there when we get there.
And that's fair enough. And again, for those that are tuning in, you know what to do because your opinions matter too. The predictions form will be live once this stream concludes. It'll be in the comments down below. It'll be on my social media tabs as well as across NoDQ social medias, in and out of the Twitter, X, and right here on YouTube. And for those that want to be a part of the fun and engage with us on the show, come tomorrow evening. It is again Double or Nothing from the MGM Grand live on pay-per-view. Show starts Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with a 2-hour pre-show / buy-in. And how you can watch this pay-per-view is for the following outlets: Trailer TV, Bleacher Report, YouTube, Pay-Per-View.com internationally, Main Event Sky, Local Dave & Busters, and other international markets. And the Jeffy Dart Brothers Media will go live tomorrow eve, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with our coverage. So I think without further ado, and thank you for those that are tuning in live or watching this on demand. Again, please like, subscribe, comment, and tell a friend. We appreciate all of you because you all make this possible. James, we got a heck of a Sunday night ahead of us. So that being said, let's get right into it. As we know right now, we have literally 11 matches, 10 on the main card. Good God almighty. And 1 on the buy-in. Now, usually the buy-in consists of 1 to 3 matches. I imagine it's going to have at least 1 more, but it hurts me to know this on the buy-in, but it also pleases me that they're the first 2 that you will see demonstrate what their technically sound craft is, professional wrestling. And it doesn't get more bitter, personal, and more evenly matched than these 2. I saw their all-time classic match at TNA Slammiversary in 2021, and the running back now at Double or Nothing. These are the first 2 you'll see, folks. It's going to be a fight. La Mera Mera Thunder Rosa goes 1-on-1 against the Virtuosa. Diana Purrazzo. Both of these women, of course, have a stint because the fact they failed to beat Timeless Tony Storm for the AEW Women's World Championship at Revolution and Dynasty, respectfully. It was Dynasty, however, that Diana Purrazzo set up Thunder Rosa for a 1-on-1 finish, neutralizing Mariah May, and yet Diana still blames Thunder Rosa and vice versa for the fact that neither of them are champions. Diana says Thunder jumped the line after Thunder got injured, having relinquished the title, and of course worked her way to get her 1-on-1 rematch. We saw at Daly's Place these 2 go 1-on-1, and it was Thunder Rosa that did out-wrestle the Virtuosa with 1 arm to escape with the win. And then the Virtuosa showed her what true Italian blood is from New Jersey the hard way post-match, looking to drop her on her head. Since then, Thunder Rosa's been trying to assault Diana any way she can outside a wrestling match, but Diana figured that this is not the way the Virtuosa handles things. You handle it with me, bell to bell in the ring. 2 well-defined technical athletes with a violent history of one another. Your thoughts on this opening encounter, James? It's Diana Purrazzo and Thunder Rosa, I think at this point in AEW, too. And something tells me this is not going to be technically proficient. This is going to be physical and violent.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely going to be the hard-hitting match. I'm shocked they put this on the buy-in and not on the main card with the way they were building this.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But
me.
then again, they always have their cards loaded, so somebody had to be the sacrificial lamb, I presume. With that said, I think because they're going to try and go... I think they're going to try to go a heel-ish route with Thunder because I feel like the babyface shtick has kind of been worn out a bit. And I feel like the way she's kind of been going after Diana, I feel like there's a heel turn coming. I don't know. I feel like it could be Thunder. It could be Deanna. One of them's turning. I'm gonna go with Thunder to turn heel and get the win, just because I feel like she needs it more than. What's odd is that the Virtuosa could be a better heel, but the fact is, like, either one of them can pull it off, and I feel like Thunder needs it more right now because she has not exactly been lighting the world on fire since she's been coming back, unfortunately. So it's a shame, but there you go. That's kind of my thoughts on that one. So Thunder Rosa for the win.
I kind of counteract your opinion because I do think Thunder Rosa is going to be the more favored baby face here, and they want to probably build her like that, even though there was the tease that she might join Los Ingobernables de Facción now that Rush is back. But we see a different side of Thunder Rosa ever since Dynasty, and Deonna Purrazzo has brought the worst out of Thunder Rosa, that she is vengeful at this point. But Deonna is going back to her roots that made her one of the most iconic TNA Knockouts World Champion in TNA wrestling history. Reminding everybody exactly who the Virtuosa is. And with the fact that she's been tagging and bagging targets as of late in her crosshairs, it's one of those things where either woman here is in a need win, but I don't necessarily if it's a must win. But I'm actually going with Deonna Purrazzo on this one. Something tells me that, again, they're trying to sell this, but this is their second encounter. Why Thunder won the first. I think Deonna ties it up here and wins the second, and we sell it in a rubber, maybe on Dynamite, and as women do in AEW, probably under strange circumstances, probably a street fight. But something about this feels like, for me, that the Virtuosa is going to surprise Thunder Rosa. It's Thunder Rosa who's been the aggressor. Deonna Purrazzo has just basically let Thunder do her own thing because she's not on her level. She's not in her class. And I think Deonna is going to show her exactly what she means by that the hard way. So I'm actually going with Deonna Purrazzo in this one. Some suddenly these two aren't done with each other, but I'm very looking forward to calling this match because, again, I saw it live in 2021 anniversary. Now we're calling it a Double or Nothing. Let's go.
Yeah, it's going to be a good match regardless, considering the talent involved.
Yeah. And, of course, Thunder Rosa comes in with that MMA background, while Deonna Purrazzo comes in with that well-defined technical background. Both women extremely gifted, extremely capable, extremely physical. Can't wait to see this. All right. Well, now we go into the main card because at this point, that's the only buy-in match that we know. And as of right now, that's the only buy-in match we're going to count on the form because the only other application I could see is maybe a change for another match here that might involve championship implications. But before we get there, let's go ahead and switch gears to a different match of a grudge where it feels more one-sided that someone needs to win, but the other one, he's going to try and get the people what he wants. Or is he trying to give Don Callis something he wants? It's Orange Cassidy going one-on-one in a pure wrestling match that Trent Beretta asked for with former best friend Trent Beretta. Ever since the fall of these two during the AEW World Tag Team Championship tournament prior to Dynasty where they lost to the EVPs, we saw Trent finally turn on Orange Cassidy and basically berate him, saying that he came in originally as the mascot, and these two have been with this company since day one, Double or Nothing, May 25th, 2019. But Orange Cassidy basically transcended why Trent has done nothing, just wallowed. And Trent basically is blaming Orange Cassidy for all of his setbacks and failures. He believes that he's better than him, though. And we saw in their last one-on-one encounter, Orange Cassidy got the win because of Trent's hubris. But Trent was the one that left walking on his own 2 feet while Don Callis assisted Orange Cassidy backstage. With the fact that the best friends are never going to be the same again, though, that Truck Taylor is officially retired. All right, please take care of my friend. Thank you for everything. After their street fight fallout, and Trent saying, Orange, this is on you, and making this personal as possible to the point that Don Callis has been there as peacekeeper besides Chris Statlander. For me, I look at this being both men going their separate ways and both going in a different direction. I think Trent has to win here to finally back up his claim that Orange Cassidy is selfish, hypocritical, and he was the one holding him back from what he's truly capable of. While on the other side, Orange Cassidy, he's never been the same, not only since losing their national championship, but seeing how all his friends have kind of turned against him or are no longer with him, with the exception of Chris Statlander. But with Don Callis being the virus that he is, probably praying and pulling his invisible hand in Orange Cassidy's ear, I wonder if Don Callis' MO is going to influence this decision more in favor of Trent. It was Trent that he first scouted, but it's Orange Cassidy's going to go up to bat against. So at the end of the day, do you want Trent to succeed as a singles, or do you want Orange Cassidy to no longer be faced? Either way, I think Trent has to win here, and that's why I'm going with Trent. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I think Trent needs to win. It's a desperate win for him. This guy's long overdue for a singles push of some kind. The only issue that I have is if he wins, it's going to be because of Dawn. And I don't mind the idea of him joining a faction to kind of start a singles run, but the issue I have is you already got a single run going in Kyle Fletcher, and he's been tearing it up with the Ring of Honor World Television title. He's had banger matches with that belt. So why dilute that with another guy that you have to push as a singles? I mean, I know they have like multiple titles, right? But like the issue comes in, it's like he's trying to succeed on his own, but he can't succeed on his own because he's behind with the faction. So, a little bit of an oxymoron there, but I do think Trent needs to win regardless. I think if you're going to turn Trent and you're going to make him this guy who's bitter about how he's been used and how he's been held back by his former best friends and stuff like that, he's got to get the Duke here. I think it's a must win. I also think that as a result of this feud happening, and I'm going to say this very bluntly, Orange Cassidy has to give a fuck. Like, he has to actually care. It has been long overdue that he needed a character metamorphosis of some sort to where he gives a shit. You need to have him get to that point because we know he can go in the ring. And half the time when he was, defending the international title, he wasn't even trying. That was his whole gimmick, is that he is that good of a wrestler that even when he's not trying, he's one of the best. Now, what happens if you bring this guy to the upper level of like, okay, now he gives a shit, and now he's serious with this. Oh man, this guy, like, what can he do? This guy could be the limit. They need to go that direction. They've needed to go that direction with Orange Cassidy 2 fucking years ago. I don't know why they haven't at this point. I love the Orange Cassidy character. Don't get me wrong. You can still do the mind games, maybe alter it every now and again, but you need to have him go on a complete character metamorphosis and just have him snap with the way all of his friends stabbed him in the back and all of his friends have gone. You know what I mean? Like, he just have him snap somehow. And now he gives a fuck, somehow, some way. That would be my recommendation if you're going to do this. I think they both need a character metamorphosis. I think this match could be the callus of that. No pun intended. But yeah, I think Trent needs to win more than Cassidy because Cassidy's already a main man with his international title runs. So I think Trent needs to win more than anything.
And to your point, Don Callis talks about channel that hatred in you, feed off that, and you will find success. That's how he influenced the likes of Kyle Fletcher, who's now the Ring of Honor World Television Championship, and of course influenced everyone else in the Don Callis family, including but not limited to the Ollie Bruff that we'll talk about later. But it's just one of those things right now where at the end of the day, Trent is a sourpuss, and that's all he'll be if he doesn't beat Orange Cassidy here in what he believes he wants to just be a wrestling match. And some of these two, it's going to be anything but that. Either way, this has to be their end game.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on down the line. We were talking about Don Callis, of course, and Don Callis has a lot on his agenda come tomorrow night. Let's go ahead and talk about another part of his agenda in what is going to be an eliminator match over the IWGP Heavyweight Championship as AEW's paradigm shifter himself that came in on the scene day one, current IWGP Heavyweight Champion Jon Moxley will defend the right to challenge for this title against the alpha of the Don Callis family, former 5-time KOD champion from DDT Pro, Konosuke Takeshita. And again, Konosuke Takeshita put it out there. This would be AEW versus DDT over the right to challenge for the richest prize in NJPW. How's that for Worlds Colliding? And of course, we know this just stemmed from the fact that Konosuke went out there and basically put out the challenge. This also comes up the fact that Jon Moxley defended the IWGP Heavyweight Championship against Powerhouse Hobbs, who is injured, but is really making a miraculous road to recovery. 9 out of 10 times elimination matches, they don't end in favor of the challenger. Only one time in the history do you want to see Eliminator and Proving Ground actually work in someone's favor. That was the Infantry against the Undisputed Kingdom in Ring of Honor, and all they had to do was go for 10 minutes. Here, you have to win. You got to pin or submit the champion to earn the right. And we also know, regardless, Jon Moxley will defend this title at Dominion against Evil of the House of Torture prior to the Forbidden Door. In fact, that literally will be a few weeks in June. I believe it's the first weekend of June. Part of me wants to see Konosuke Takeshita win this just so he has some sort of momentum ever since the incredible match he had at Revolution against Will Ospreay, but he fell short. A Dynasty was not even involved at the pay-per-view. He's kind of just been watching on since Will Ospreay has been on an unstoppable run. Bruv. But Jon Moxley, he's also the boogeyman of this industry that just always lurks and tells you to keep up or step up. And Konosuke, he's a guy that definitely not only keep up with Jon Moxley, he can knock him the fuck out. So, that being said, James, do you think Konosuke surprises us here and beats Jon Moxley and earns this opportunity?
Okay. I have so many problems with this match.
You are not the only one. Let's just put this out there again. AEW, DDT Pro, over a title for NJPW Gold. The title's not even on the line at AEW's pay-per-view.
Right, which is the big issue I have with this. Either go with a championship match or don't. It is ridiculous, this Eliminator match shit. I am so over the Eliminator match. I want it to die. A horrible, painful death. That's how much I hate the Eliminator match. All you have to do is have Moxley defend the belt against somebody else that may look like they have a chance to win. And then have him win through any means necessary, that the way Moxley usually does. And have Konosuke get into a number one contendership match with, I don't fucking know, Shota Umino or some shit. Somebody from the New Japan roster on the Double or Nothing card in the number one contenders match to determine the number one contender for the IWGP Championship at Forbidden Door. It is not hard to book. It is just hard to finance. We know Tony has the money. I don't understand why you couldn't just book somebody else to fight against Konosuke for the number one contendership for the IWGP title. Why go through these hoops and just be lazy as fuck with this and book another Eliminator match?
I don't know. I don't know.
And here's the thing. And here's the fucking stupidest thing about this. Okay, so Konosuke wins. Big deal. Then what? He takes momentum away from the fucking champion that just won the belt at Windy City Riot not even a month and a half prior, completely halting his momentum and halting the company in New Japan's momentum, whatever they have going on.
That's Super Juniors right now. That tells you anything.
Right. So you're halting all that momentum, all because you want to find a way for Konosuke to not be miserable in the back. So this is your way to circumvent that in a quick and easy way. I mean, there is no direction for anybody. You want to know why people are fucking miserable, and you hear guys like Konosuke Takeshita saying he's having a horrible time in America. It's shit like this. There is no creative backbone in this company anymore. And everybody wants to tell me, like, oh, I've done a 180, and it's like, no. I remember when this company had a creative fucking backbone. That's why I defended AEW for years. Until they fucking lost the plot.
Right.
And they have absolutely lost the plot when they can't even book this right. They have been able to book this shit like it was going out of style. They were able to make shit make sense. Now we got Konosuke in a random match where he's probably going to win now. And if he doesn't win, it just halts his momentum and makes him even more miserable. And either way, he's not going to win the title, so you're just prolonging the dude's suffering.
Most likely.
Like, it doesn't solve... Dude, this seems like the story of AEW since the fucking All-In show. It's like putting a fucking Band-Aid to a gunshot wound. It really is. Your problem is your long-term booking. You don't have it anymore. It's clear as day that you're booking the pay-per-views and then booking the week-to-week television on what you're going to book for the pay-per-views. And now you're not even doing 4 pay-per-views a year. You're doing like 8 now a year. Maybe 9 a year. And actually, no, 10. I think if you count All In and All Out, which I still fucking can't believe they're doing.
Well, at least there's a week separation, but continue.
Oh my god, a week separation, enough build. Yeah.
At least not back to back. I look, you take the win when you can. That's all I gotta say about that.
Yeah,
and
really.
In your case,
I mean,
right? I believe in your head. If Konosuke wins here, it still is a big opportunity for him down the line, and it's a win on pay-per-view. But to your point as well, I just got done watching Tomohiro Ishii represent NJPW against Pro Wrestling Maisa Kitamiya in a grudge bout rematch from earlier this year over nothing but pride. And you remember last time we called Forbidden Door, you and I were all over that exchange with Konosuke Takeshita and Ishii. I don't know why they just didn't do that and had that be a prototypical number one contendership match, since Konosuke was at the All Together show where DDT Pro was represented across the United Asian Wrestling Federation. It's just one of those things where hindsight's 2020. And I know that they're going to start building the Forbidden Door after this because you got the Casino Gauntlet, Forbidden Door Casino Gauntlet to determine the next challenger for the AEW World Championship, which we'll talk about as part of the triple main event. But for me, Konosuke, he's one of those guys with so much potential, but right now he really is lost in the shuffle. They don't know how to push him forward while they're trying to give him this aura of a Kenny Omega, aka the Alpha, and a guy, by the way, this guy beat Kenny Omega last year at a great match at AEW.
Right, he's done nothing since.
Pretty much.
That's what's so frustrating.
He wasn't even part of the Continental Classic. I understand your grievance.
He has one thing that he has done that was fucking awesome, and that was his match with Will Ospreay. That should have been a launching pad to get him back on track, even if he lost. And you fucked him again with this stupid, haphazard bullshit booking. Like, okay. The only reason, and this is genuinely the only reason why I could consider this, he should be in the international title match fighting Roderick Strong, in my opinion. And Will Ospreay should be the one going for this IWGP belt, to be honest. Just because of his history with New Japan. The only reason why they wouldn't be doing that is because they have plans to have Will Ospreay win the international title, so that way there could be a triple threat match between Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega when he comes back, and Kazuchika Okada to unite the international title and the continental title, and that way they create the intercontinental title in AEW. And you think I'm crazy? I'm telling you. Timestamp this prediction show. I'm telling you right now, 23-14, they will unify the international title and the intercontinental or the continental title to create the intercontinental title in AEW. Watch. That's the only reason they had the continental title in the first place, I bet.
You heard it here first. Well, regardless, why the future is muddled and unknown for the Alpha, I think it's safe to say that we both want to see the win for Konosuke Takeshita, but the word eliminator almost basically puts the prediction out there that Jon Moxley is going to overcome him.
Yeah, exactly. So either way, Moxley's going to win. Just because Konosuke wins doesn't mean he's going to win the title match. And even if he does, why? To do another hot potato fucking switch with the IWGP World title?
Here's why. Well, I mean, the championship, the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, has not been truly identified as the most prestigious prize to fight for with the right guy on it since, ironically, Kazuchika Okada dropped it.
Yeah.
Because Naito, he only had it for 3 months.
Why in the hell?
Poor Naito.
And this is why I look back at this now and it's like, I love Moxley, and that was a cool moment for him to get that win.
Yes.
But at what cost? Because now the IWGP title is in the hands of AEW booking.
And that's Jeff Cobb's grievance against AEW. To your point, he spoke about that verbatim. I think Zack Sabre Jr. also echoes similar sentiments. So
Right.
again, you're not alone in this cause. But
Well, because it's like he's great at matchmaking. We know that that's Tony Khan's strong suit. He knows how to put the matches together.
true, but it's more the
So long
wrestling
as you have a long-term booking plan, you got an unstoppable thing. There is no long-term plan anymore.
No, don't seem like it. Especially
Because the person, and I'm convinced of this, the person who is doing the long-term strategy and the long-term booking for that company in the first 5 years, or no, the first 3 years, is now the WWE Undisputed Champion.
Cody Rhodes. And Cody was part of that video package, by the way, talking about the rival, the rise, the purpose of AEW. And I think that was definitely for a reason. But that being said, we still have a lot more to talk about. And that might be a great open mic night conversation again, folks. If you want to hear more on this, please super chat Casting Studios. We'll love to continue to dissect the AEW booking strategy. Where could things be better? Because we want AEW to thrive. AEW is good for the wrestling business.
Yeah, like
its butterness.
Like anybody that thinks that I'm criticizing AEW, and other people criticize AEW because they want AEW to fail.
There's constructive criticism, and then there's
right.
just being a foolish dickhead or twat.
Right. And that's the thing. It's like I'm not saying I want AEW to die. I'm everything opposite of that. So please understand what I'm trying to say and actually hear my fucking words and don't just fucking toss them to the wayside and actually speak up about this bullshit when it's wrong.
Yeah, don't be the Charlie Brown teacher. All you hear is a trumpet. But that being said, we both feel that Konosuke, we both feel that Konosuke needs to at least win this pay-per-view showcase and then hope the best for the aftermath. We're both going with Konosuke.
Yeah, I mean, if he wins the IWGP
if he actually title, does, you are going to have to eat crow so damn hard.
But no, and I wouldn't even be mad about him winning the belt. It's just it doesn't make any sense in the long-term scheme of things because you just got another hot potato switch with the world title.
Well, here's the thing. We don't know when that match would occur if he wins this, and we're hoping that he does. And you got to consider not only is the Forbidden Door at the end of June, but after that, James, we're getting near G1 Climax season, which defines the IWGP Heavyweight Championship and the implications towards Wrestle Kingdom. And the champion might literally be involved in that. Imagine John Moxley returning to the G1 as the champion, or Konosuke going into his first as the IWGP Heavyweight Champion. It's a wild thing to think about, but right now Japan Pro Wrestling has to rely on this younger, new generation to bring this company back to promise since Okada, Ospreay, Ibushi are no longer there.
Yeah, but they have Naito. They have Hiroshi Tanahashi as the president. Yes. When all else fails, put the belt on him. Because at least you know he's a professional motherfucker that will do what's right for business. He's the only megastar you have. Put the belt on him. That way you have a sense of direction to go through going forward. And by the way, you know what's ridiculous? When Pro Wrestling Noah has more of a effective strategy right now than New Japan does.
And Kata Kiyomiya is the current GHC heavyweight champion once again. Congratulations to him after beating, I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the name, after Kano. And by the way, Kano, once again, bringing out the best and the worst of Kata Kiyomiya. So we truly see who wants to lead Pro Wrestling Noah into promise. And those two right there, spearhead that company behind their backs. You're in a very promising spot. And of course, Marufuji also president there, and Keiji Muto, talent scout. Right. All right, well, great international wrestling conversation to say the least. And again, Konosuke, put up and shut up, not only here, but going forward, because you may not have it tomorrow if you don't leave a mark here. Right. All right, as we move forward here, bringing a lot to light, let's go ahead and descend into the world of darkness. As members of the House of Black, will you please arise and see how it can handle the inferno of a Brood rated R superstar. It's Adam Copeland versus Malachi Black in a barbed wire steel cage match. What the fuck almighty are these two yahoos thinking?
Hey, you know what? I said Tony Khan was good at matchmaking. This is a match I'm looking forward to. I'm not even going to front with you, Chief.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie here. This is top 3 for me. Let's go ahead and break it down as Adam Copeland has been brought back to the darkest inner workings of his mind, courtesy of Malachi Black, taking everything from him from a personality standpoint and a family mentality standpoint, including his wedding ring. But also, here's a caveat. If Malachi Black wins the championship, Adam Copeland must bend the knee before the House of Black. James, let's go ahead and get your take on this. From something you're very critical to something you're very excited for. And this does have some good story to it. What do you think happens? And in Vegas, do you bet against the House of Black? Or once again, does the House always win?
Hey, AEW, take notes on your own show. More of this, please.
Accurate.
I you know what? I'd be intrigued if Adam lost to Malachi and he had to join the House of Black. I just want to put this in perspective, okay? And this is my history kind of going crazy with this, right? Could you imagine if Adam Copeland has to bend the knee to the House of Black? One of the members is married to the wife of the person who's effectively the biggest star of his former group in the Judgment Day.
Yes.
I mean, I'm just saying, there's a lot of story you could do if you go that direction. If you have Malachi win the belt and have him kind of bend the knee and be a servant almost to the House of Black. I don't know, man. Something about brooding Edge going kind of sinister and dark, going full heel. I don't know. It sounds pretty nice.
James, remember, in AEW, you don't win a steel cage match by escape. You have to win via pinfall or submission inside the cage.
Mm-hmm.
And there's going to be barbed wire wrapped around it entirely, making it even more of a lethal weapon.
Yeah, oh man, and the problem is Malachi already has lethal weapons in his fucking kicks.
Yeah, after that clinic with Kyle O'Reilly, and let's keep in mind, since Adam Copeland regained the TNT Championship from Christian Cage, making him say "I quit," forcing Spike in the uprights, he's had an incredible run, but it has been taxing not only to his physical well-being, but the mentality preyed upon by Malachi Black. He's overcome both Brian Matthews and Brody King, as well as Lee Moriarty and that incredible match against Kyle O'Reilly. But we saw after Kyle O'Reilly, especially when he tasted his blood and held onto that hand, it was almost like there was a renewed hunger waking up inside of him, like he was giving into something. So clearly that mist from Dynasty has affected Adam Copeland to the point now that he literally took the only thing probably keeping Adam Copeland from transcending back into what he once was at his worst, his wedding ring. And you got to consider that if there is any shred of humanity left in Adam Copeland, he's going to try and get that back. But after that brood bath, I think the old Adam Copeland is gone for now.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I think I'm going to go with Malachi to get the dub here. I think there's a lot more intrigue to having Malachi as the TNT champion and having Adam kind of be this very much go to Julia Hart route. I would really like that. I'm intrigued to see where it goes, especially when you consider too, everything going on with Christian and that whole title program with him and Swerve.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what happens because I don't think he's winning that belt right out of the gate. We'll get to that prediction later on and I'll go in more detail.
Of course.
So, obviously, as a result, that could lead his patriarchy to leave him and he ends up with nothing. And he sees Adam kind of being led astray, and then all of a sudden, Christian could have a change of heart. I'm just saying there's a way you can go about this. So I'm gonna go with Adam losing to Malachi.
This is a very unique circumstance considering this is the first time we're seeing Malachi Black in a singles program in a long damn time. It was 2 years ago when the House of Black came full hand with Julia Hart turning and joining them. Then they became the most dominant lethal trio in AEW Trios Championship history. We talked about it before. Each member of the House of Black is so damn dynamic, whether it's tag, trios, or singles. And Julia Hart, of course, who finally won her first title accolade, had a tremendous run, lost it though, and Brody King says, now we rebuild. I do wonder when Brody King says that. Was he only talking about Julia Hart, or was he actually talking about the House of Black as a whole? And do you rebuild with the added influence of Adam Copeland? Then there's the TNT Championship, a title that defines opportunity that has made the likes of Darby Allin, for example, who still has that title more important to him then the AEW World Championship. I talked about before how I hope for people like Daniel Garcia to become the TNT Championship. He confronts Adam Cole and says, if I have to go from the bottom back to the top 1,000 times over just to hold going AEW, I'm willing to do that. Talk about real grit. And to me, I still think the TNT Championship end game could be Daniel Garcia finally winning this title. But do you do it through Malachi Black, or do you do that now through Adam Copeland, who's under the influence possibly of the House of Black? But again, if he's under the influence of the House of Black, he's no longer the champion. And of course, Kyle O'Reilly, we saw what he did against Malachi Black, and he's also challenged for this as well. It's one of those things where two things are unknown: the future of Adam Copeland and the future of the TNT Gold. But you have more certainty in what you think could come if Adam Copeland does bend the knee and joins the House of Black, with Malachi Black being, the poet that has all the manipulation and control over the Rated R Superstar. Then again, if Adam Copeland does channel his inner demons and does what he needs to do to beat Malachi Black. Because remember, when the House of Black competes, it's not just about winning when you're against Malachi Black, the decision. It's about winning over your opponent. He said he has to kill him to bring him back to life into the man that he once was. And it looks like he's already doing that. I feel like if Adam Copeland succeeds here, Malachi Black still succeeds. And we'll see a different side of Adam Copeland going forward as the TNT champion. So impartially, and plus the fact that he does have that wedding ring, and I do wonder if that's going to come into play. Will he want it back? Will he put it to the side? Will he not even think about it? I think Adam Copeland is going to win this, but I don't think it's going to be a way that's going to involve happy ending, the hero becomes the villain. I think we get a new, even more dangerous villain out of it. I'm going with Adam Copeland, though, somehow retaining the title against Malachi Black inside this steel cage. But either way, I feel the house still wins because Malachi Black will carry out what he wanted to do. Bring back.
I just hope they go about this the way they should, because this has been the most interesting that since the Christian Cage angle that they've used Adam Copeland since he just arrived in AEW, and I kind of want to see where it goes.
Same. And something tells me here this won't be a one-off, but he has basically faced the House of Black for the duration of 2 months. And I do wonder, in victory, what Adam Copeland do you get out of this going forward as TNT champion? So that's why I think he's going to somehow escape with the championship. I don't think he's going to send Malachi Black to hell, but I do think we are going to see a darker Adam Copeland come to light going forward in AEW. Besides, Adam Copeland, Edge, he's always been notoriously better as a heel, the ultimate opportunist for a reason, versus babyface. This is the capital to that, in my opinion. Go with Adam. But I'm looking forward to this. Oh, boy. And will bloodshed. Yes, it will. And they better have Gangrel as part of this entrance, damn it. I want a Mikey Ruckus remix of the Brood entrance with Gangrel there to do the bloodshot. Just saying. Just saying.
Well, remember, he's got to be the Vampire Warrior.
Accurate. Not brought to you by Castlevania, despite all the video game paraphernalia. Great game. Okay.
Hey, don't give No DQ CAW ideas now.
I'm pretty sure I already have. No DQ CAW has been doing this thing since 2008. AEW has been doing this thing since 2019. So again, what do I know? I'm just a wrestling fan. And say you had a No DQ. Shout out to Aaron Rip. Yeah. All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on and see if I can get the guns up for the Bullet Club Gold members here at the Multiverse of Media. Because as of right now, it is a standard trios grudge match as the Bang Bang Gang, the Unified Trios champions. We, of course, talk about Jay White and, of course, Austin and Colton Gunn, the sons of an ass man. They, of course, will go up against former AEW Trios champions in their own right. We are talking about the Bastard Pac alongside the Lucha Brothers back in tag team match in Denial Collision, Penta Silmiero and Rey Phoenix. Now, here's the thing that we don't know, and I want you to consider this maybe as a heads or tails spot. Tonight, if the Lucha Brothers beat the Guns on Collision, this match will become for the Unified World Trios Championships. So, that being said, considering they are a former set of Trios champions in their own right, and you honestly wonder, had the Bang Bang Gang done anything with the gold since unifying them against the Acclaim during the buy-in to Dynasty, I feel like these titles need a whole new representation, and Jim needs to get away from this trios, picture. Unless Rock Hard, Juice Robinson shows up, I truly think we're going to have new trios champions. So I'm proverbially right now going to go with the Death Triangle winning. especially since Rey Fenix and Penta just came back together as a tag team, and Pac just fell against Kazuchika Okada for the Continental Championship. I think you gotta give these three something to do, and I think Death Triangle is more defined as a trio than the Bang Bang Gang is, and they're also more of a fighting champion that I can deal with. So I'm on new champs. I'm going with Death Triangle. But as it stands, if this stays non-title, then Bang Bang Gang is going to win, because it's going to continue. James, what's your mindset?
It's not even for the titles?
Not yet. Again, if the Lucha Brothers beat the Guns tonight on Collision, this will become for the AEW Unified World Trios Championship.
Okay, then the Lucha Brothers are going to win that, and then Rock Hard is going to come and cost them. That's what I think is going to happen. It's the only way to get Jay White out of this mess. I've been saying it since before Dynasty, I think. I've literally been saying it since then. The only way to get Jay White out of this realistically is if you bring Juice Robinson back and then you freebird it. That's the only way you get out of this mess with him. Hopefully he is cleared to show up in the MGM Grand, because goddamn Jay White needs him to take his spot.
Yeah. Then Jay White can go on to bigger things where there are 4 different singles championships in AEW to pursue, despite the fact he had every possible advantage last year at Full Gear for the richest price in AEW and failed. But I do understand what you're saying. I just don't think Jay White needs to be a trios champion, even with the Bang Bang Bat Cart and Card Blade or whatever the hell he's called, Switchboard, etc. I want to see Jay White
Light Switch, whatever you call him. Yeah,
I don't freaking know. Go get at your local UPS store. Freaking hell. All right? Damn it, don't get me started.
I got a remote control switch. I got 2. Hold on. Here you go. Hey, Joe, this one is black and white, so I'm going to call this Jay White. And then I don't know what you call this one. Maybe Jay White before he became Switchblade. And,
oh, my gosh.
They're fighting. Here we go.
The before and after. Either way, I'm hoping for new trios champions. We gotta redefine this trios division and make these titles mean something again. Seriously. All right. Yeah. Well, that being said, we now move on to our featured Timeless presentation as Timeless Tony Storm defends the AEW Women's World Championship against the professor of professional wrestling, Serena Deeb. And now I go from color to black and white and silently argue with myself while James gives his thoughts first on this AEW Women's World Championship match. Before he says anything else, let me just say one more thing. Damn it! Something needs to change to bring this towel back to full color and make this towel mean like something again. Okay, James, go ahead.
Who is this James you speak of? You dare go on and insult my title reign as AEW Women's World Champion?
Hey, James, you fucking idiot.
Behave, Mr. Foster, behave.
This timeless charlatan hitting Thunder Rosa and the V and her timeless entourage, saving her at Revolution from the Butchers of finally beating her.
Now, listen right here, Mr. Foster. I have dealt with timeless charlatans. That's why I left Stanford. Ooh, I did a little thing. Did you see that?
Oh my God almighty. This is getting too damn weird.
I thought that was quite a good, riveting joke, yes.
Oh, Lord. Well, again, someone needs to teach this timeless fool of respect back in 2024 versus being stuck in your own stardom in the 1950s while the Forbidden Door looms and Mina Shirakawa and Mariah May still don't know which way to look at this. And I do wonder when Mariah May is finally going to step up beyond being the protege and maybe see if she could beat her teacher, title or no title. And also, it was 1 year ago where Toni Storm was not timeless, but she was an outcast, and thanks to her outcast entourage, was able to beat Jamie Hayter, I'm a hater, for the AEW Women's World Championship. We haven't seen Jamie Hayter since. I still want to hold out for the fact that Jamie Hayter needs to deliver on the grandest stage of them all in her own home country against timeless Toni Storm, who also is no stranger to the UK. A home away from home for quite a period of time, we're being perfectly honest here. I really want to see change and evolution in the AEW Women's Division. There's a reason why this title is not part of the triple main event. This is the World Championship, not the secondary title. Put that in perspective. So I think that you are going to retain by hook and by crook But I think you're just one haterade dose away from finally being knocked back in 2024 in full color.
Haterade, is that some sort of beverage? I'm not sure I follow.
That being said, as
Well,
Tony,
hold on, Mr. Foster. I asked you a question. I expect an answer back, please. Thank you.
I can't. I can't.
Just go with it.
Haterade is the ripcord lariat that took your damn head off last year, only to survive because of the compromised injury to the shoulder.
Oh, so this Haterade is a person. Oh, never heard of it. So, with that said, I think you did make the wise choice because I will win, and it will be fair and square. So, there's that.
You haven't won fair and square for the year 2024.
Blasphemy! With what proof?
Your butler was literally there to catch you at Revolution.
My butler is there. My butler
tapping out to the virtuoso. This is
my butler. I'll have you know was there to protect my best interest, which means he was there to catch me anytime I ended up falling from the apron. Thank you very much.
Yeah, like you fell on your keister when Serena Deeb knocked you the fuck out.
Oh, this Serena, she will get hers. I'll tell you that right now. I'll make sure she puts them up. Come, double or nothing.
Yeah, she impaled that heel into your forehead and trapped you in a submission.
Well,
oh, God.
I gotta go back. I actually have a nail appointment for this Double or Nothing show, so I'm gonna get all dolled up. So until next time, chin up, tits out, and watch for the show.
Yeah, guys. Something tells me she's going to have more than a broken cuticle come tomorrow night. But I really hope Serena Deeb goes double and not nothing. But I fear the worst when it comes to the professor of professional wrestling with the bigger agenda for the AEW Women's World Championship probably being Tony Storm versus Mina Shirakawa, if we're being honest here. And Forbidden Door is always open. It opens fully at the end of June. And when a Thekla comes to try and destroy all the idols from Oedo Tai, that remains to be seen, too. That being said, thank you, Timeless Tony Storm. Good luck tomorrow at the MGM Grand. Fuck my life. And now we return to full color as we move forward here, where there is more delusion in this match than there is in the latest character reinvention of one Chris Jericho and the Learning Tree. As we once again get back to full color here, and James has returned.
Yeah, that was mean shit. What happened?
Something, I don't know. The world doesn't make sense. That's what I just Phil Collins said at best. We live in a land of confusion. And no, I'm not singing that.
Hey, Disturbed did the best cover of that, in my opinion, by the way.
Debatable. It's hard to bet against Genesis, and this is not about music. And shout out to Jordan, Kirby Jordan, giving his thoughts and figuring that Mariah May will turn on Tony. I don't know, but Mariah May has had incredible upside since being part of AEW and being underneath Tony Storm's Learning Tree. Hell,
I can agree with that, yeah.
The two lip-synced in Synergy and Storm Zero, their tag team opposition this past Wednesday on Dynamite. Never seen anything like that in my damn life.
Yeah, I'm just saying, man. I mean, King is having a lovely time, I'm sure, with that visual.
Weak-minded simpleton. All right, well, let's go ahead and get away from this delusion to even more delusion as we talk about the Learning Tree. Chris Jericho defending the FTW Championship for the world under For the World rules. Yes, folks, I kid you not, that's exactly what it's called and what it's for and what it's being billed as. Against the former FTW champion Hook and the wrestler Katsura Shibata. We got here, of course, after Hook lost the FTW Championship to Chris Jericho and the FTW rules at Dynasty after being knocked out with Floyd the baseball bat. Wasn't seen for a few weeks. Katsura Shibata, the most dangerous man with a trash can over his head, then faced Chris Jericho in Canada. Hockey pucks were included, but thanks to the new Redwood underneath the Learning Tree in one W. Morrissey, Chris Jericho was able to escape, still the FTW champion. He started this FTW initiative where we had people qualify, including these two, and we saw both Hook and Shibata submit the bounty hunter, Brian Keith, this past Wednesday on Dynamite, which Jericho simply says, I'm at a disadvantage, but now you both men deserve this, and you will get your chance against me at Double or Nothing. What the fuck is a For the World rules match is what I want to know. Seriously. I don't get this, James. I don't.
I
get
don't
this.
either. I don't either. But you know what? You can't deny it anymore. He's done it again.
He has.
Jericho's reinvented himself and made himself into a freaking mainstay in AEW again. Like, literally, he was getting go home heat, and now he's turned this go home heat into like, oh, I want to see this dude get his ass kicked. Dude, there will never be another Chris Jericho.
No.
Ever.
No.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to this just because you have Jericho, who I highly respect, and I love Shibata. I'm so happy he's back in the wrestling ring, and then you got my boy Hook. So, and you know what? Is false count anywhere? FTW rules. So
for the world, the title
for the world. Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry, for the world title.
For the rules.
For the rules. Could you imagine that's what he would change the fucking title back to? Well, no, we got to make this title fair and square. Jericho, you know there's the Ring of Honor Pure title that already does that, right? I don't know what that is. We're going to make it fair and square.
Yeah, I'm about to say, just so the people know, it's for the quote-unquote rules. For the quote-unquote rules. For the World Championship.
So what is it? So what is it? Is it like
I have no damn idea. He has not explained nothing.
Oh no!
For the rules match of its kind.
Oh no! Oh, it's a whole new match type. Oh no! Oh fuck me! Does that mean he's gonna take the Queensberry Duchess rules? Is he taking a page out of Regal's playbook from 2001?
I don't know. All I know is it's a triple threat. And usually in triple threats, no matter what rules you want to apply, there are no disqualifications. And usually, PMR submission has to occur inside the ring. You also know the Redwood, W. Morrison will be there. And as of late, Samoa Joe has been trying to teach Hook and Shibata a lesson and trying to learn something in their own right as they've been bickering against each other. You almost wanted Chris Jericho to use that to his advantage, the fact that Hook and Shibata have so much respect for one another, but they both want this title. They both want Jericho. And yet we have yet to see in AEW Hook versus Shibata one-on-one. You wonder if this might lead towards that. And again, like you said, master of reinvention. It's hard to bet against Chris Jericho in this situation.
Yeah, Jericho's definitely winning. He's got the rules on his side. We don't even know what the rules are yet.
Oh my gosh.
Watch, he turns it into like an impromptu tag team match, and the first person who gets W can fight for the title.
W. Morrissey, he's the special guest referee, ringkeeper, enforcer. He fights on my behalf as he keeps underneath my learning tree, as everyone here is part of the Chris Jericho mid-card vortex nonsense. That's a hard gravitational pull.
Dude, I'm so happy that he's just like taking what the haters have said and just kind of rolling with it as a gimmick.
With a smile on his face. The dude is in a bigger delusional state than I've ever seen in his career.
Dude, this honest to God is like my favorite Jericho. Like, this is my favorite Jericho because he's acting like he doesn't know, but he knows. So he's just kind of rolling with it, and I love it.
Oh God. Yeah, this is going to be one of those matches that everyone's going to be like, why the fuck is this happening? Oh, Lord, AEW, a little bit of everything, even if you don't understand it. And one more time, just because, thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for watching the For the World Championship under For the Rules. As he's going to be champion forever, and he's not going to lose, but Hook and Shibata, they're going to do his best to beat him, and he's looking forward to it. Should be a great match. Double or nothing. Backward out again. I was the first AEW World Champion.
Dude, he is so fucking hamming it up. Like, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of his WCW run when he turned heel.
Yeah, right?
It's exactly that run. This is what this run reminds me of a lot of, really.
Oh, man. I just wonder if Taz is going to be at ringside. Is he going to be able to handle this? Oh, Lord.
Taz is going to be angry. Big angry.
I mean, he's from New York, so New Yorkers are always angry, to be fair. He's got even more reason to be angry, so there you go.
And he'll be angry in Vegas, which means he'll have alcohol nearby.
Good God forbid. Either way, Chris Jericho for the world. Damn it.
For the world, man. I hate it.
Oh, my God. Yeah,
I both hate it and love it at the same time.
You and me both. Oh, God. All right, well, let's go ahead and switch gears from something that's going to be an absolute madhouse to something that's going to be an absolute clinic, adding to his continued clinics this year. James, let's fucking go. We're calling Roderick Strong versus Will Ospreay, bro, for the AEW International Championship. Ring of Honor rivalry renewed, and Will Ospreay is looking to teach Roderick Strong a thing about respect. The thing to think about here, Will Ospreay is currently undefeated since signing with AEW after beating Konosuke Takeshita, Kyle Fletcher, Shane Taylor, Lee Moriarty, Katsuyori Shibata, and of course, Bryan Danielson. He earned this opportunity in the first ever Kishino Gauntlet match after outlasting, and I need this match, please, Kyle O'Reilly in an incredible exchange. And of course, now we know Roderick Strong, who also became Kyle O'Reilly in a super match that we call that Dynasty, is defending the W National Championship. But you gotta consider the Devil's MO. Adam Cole, defend the Kingdom's gold. Wardlow. It was this past Wednesday that Wardlow bludgeoned Will Ospreay, and Roderick Strong let Will Ospreay in the pool of his own blood. Will Ospreay is his own worst enemy, though, as he refuses to use the Storm Driver, Tiger Driver 91, after the injury caused to Bryan Danielson being lost in that moment. By the way, for those that don't know, Bryan Danielson took that the safest way possible. It's just one of those things where you look at Don Callis' MO, feed on hatred, be willing to do anything to win. You look at the history and the relationship with Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher, who had a crossroads at Daly's place where Will Ospreay won. Kyle Fletcher lost that night against Swerve Strickland. And then you got Roderick Strong, who so far since Revolution, he hasn't lost a match since claiming the AEW International Championship, including against Rocky Romero in a Luminaire match at Battle of the Belts 10. I'm really torn here because at the end of the day, I don't know what's ahead for Will Ospreay, but we know the agenda for the Undisputed Kingdom. Hold all the gold. And Wardlow is the insurance policy. Boy, what a fall from grace, by the way, for this big man, considering where he was literally 1 year ago. Anyway.
2 years ago.
2 years. Yeah, you're right. 2 years. I'm sorry.
It's been that long.
Been a while.
Like it's been a life.
Been a while. That being said, James, do you think Will Ospreay, who wanted a time that he could take global before leaving New Japan Pro Wrestling, had a chance to become the World Championship for it and failed? Do you think he wins his first piece of gold here in AEW and wins the International Championship? And more importantly, could we see him defend this possibly at Wembley? Yeah, this is one of those odd G's matches because this match can really go either way right here. It's going to be a clinic, but will people be satisfied with the result? That's the conversation.
It's gonna be a great match technically because the two people involved, there's no way this isn't going to be a sleeper hit. That being said, this spanned the Undisputed Kingdom. It's not working. Oh my God, it's not working. Like reinvent it somehow. Like do a Civil War. Like here's the problem, right? The only way the Undisputed Kingdom works is if they join with the other shit faction that nobody wants to fucking deal with.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a no-win fucking situation. So just please disband it. Like, have them turn on Adam Cole somehow. I don't know. Like, turn on Adam Cole, and then have MJF save him, and Roddy save him. You know what I mean? Like, and Kyle O'Reilly save him, and like make a new kind of undisputed era of some kind. Call it the era, whatever you want to, whatever you have to do to get past copyright law. Have the era versus the Kingdom. That's what I think they should do because this Kingdom nonsense is just dead on arrival. It's been dead on arrival since World's End. Look, Cole's healthy. That's wonderful. Here's the problem. MJF is not, and I cannot and will not for an entire calendar year sit through any more Undisputed Kingdom nonsense. I'd rather these guys just do their shit solo. You can do Adam Cole versus MJF later without that being the case. Just disband this faction. It's not working. So, that being said, I'm going with Will Ospreay to win the belt. I love, and look, it pains me because I love Roddy, and he's going to have a lot of momentum die on him, but there's only one way to go, and that's how you have to consolidate some titles because now we're getting to a point where you got too many for sure. And I really think that the Continental and the International were literally created, or the Continental was created to mix the Intercontinental or to mix the Continental, and the International to create the Intercontinental Championship. You see how this could be confusing, but that's the direction they're going. So, yeah, Ospreay wins. Ospreay's going to fight Omega and Okada in a unification of some kind. I'm pretty certain. Now, we don't know if that's going to be the only two titles on the line. For all we fucking know, Kenny Omega could win another belt by the time he comes back from his injury, and then there's going to be 3 belts on the damn line.
So. All right, first off, I know Kenny Omega is insane, but this guy is fighting diverticulitis right now with his life, so I think championship is the farthest thing for his mind besides revenge. And the only guy with a brain trying to show what AEW truly is about, where the best wrestle. And we have 2 of the best that are about to wrestle each other one-on-one here, but I can't go against the Undisputed Kingdom right now because the fact of the matter is Will Ospreay is challenging himself. Can he use the Storm Driver again to reach success? And until he does, will he reach that success? And with Wardlow, again, there as the insurance policy for the Undisputed Kingdom, it's hard to bet against Roderick Strong here. Someone tell me that Roderick Strong's going to escape with this title because there's still story left to figure out with Will Ospreay. And to your point, if Roderick Strong loses this championship, down goes the Undisputed Kingdom, and Adam Cole might step forward, and the Devil's punishment might be carried out. And why Adam Cole is cleared, he has not yet competed in the ring at all or even confronted anybody in the ring. That's another thing. And you know the guy probably be building towards Adam Cole versus Wardlow. But how do you get there? I think you first start off by somehow having Adam Cole versus Will Ospreay, because Adam Cole is the devil. That kingdom come, that devil's will carry it out. I think right now, Roderick Strong, to your point, who just won the title and has only had it for literally about 3 months with 3 great defenses, I think he holds on to it a little longer. Otherwise, you got the strongest member of the Undisputed Kingdom lose, and that's it for the group at this point. I got to go with Roderick Strong here.
I understand why. I just don't feel like it's working. I think they're going to call an audible and just ixnay this entire group somehow. There's too many complaints for it not to happen. This isn't a Jericho thing where he can reinvent himself. Like, this has been dead on arrival since it formed. And the biggest problem that I have with all of it is it never should have been the plan A. And people wanted to see MJF and Adam Cole be babyface friends. You know?
We were losing our shit calling their babyface answers, including blood and guts.
That was the most over. And read my lips when I say this. That was the most over Adam Cole has been since he arrived in AEW.
Accurate.
Which means that was more over than when he first showed up in AEW and All Out 2021. You know why? Because he was paired with the fucking Master Brothers. Sound familiar? 2 years later? So this guy he finally got something after he had a babyface run. And then they turn him heel. And what is absurd to me is that they turn him heel after he just had this career-threatening neck injury. He should have been babyface for at least 2 to 3 years.
Give or take.
Give or take. And this guy was heel again by the end of the year after he returned. That's why it didn't work. You could tell me, well, it's because Adam Cole was injured. No, he never should have fucking turned heel. Never should have turned heel. If anything, there was more money to be had with fucking Roderick Strong having to accept that this was the choice Adam Cole made and defend the titles on behalf of his friend and trying to get along with fucking MJF, and then him and MJF butt heads, and then all of a sudden, the more they teamed, the more they got cohesion, and the more they became good friends, and then all of a sudden they're all great friends. That was the fucking story. It was right there. And instead, fucking let's turn Adam Cole heel because we were supposed to be Punk, but fuck it.
Well, again,
damn it, dude.
Talk about, again, hindsight 2020 and long-term story. And honestly, maybe this is a longer-term story when I think about Roderick Strong retaining. Again, last year, Will Ospreay, he went to Wembley Stadium. He went all in. He beat Chris Jericho while he was IWGP United States champion. This year, maybe he goes to all in, winning a championship. And for all we know, if they go out further with the Undisputed Kingdom by some miracle, it could very well be the National Championship. Then again, the Forbidden Door is also around the corner as well. It's just one of those things where I think if Will Ospreay loses, it doesn't stall him. But how long do you keep a guy winning where the first loss matters to both him and his opponent? Huge coup if Roderick Strong beats Will Ospreay. If Will Ospreay beats Roderick Strong, he proves his point that he was trying to prove years ago, but you basically destroy the Undisputed Kingdom's momentum in the process. So, damn if you do,
get
damn
that.
if you don't.
It's just not clicking. It's not over. That's the only problem.
Yeah.
I would be so for what you're saying if they actually had any heat to them at all. But they don't. They don't. And the only people that have any heat to them are 2 out of the 5, which means it's a bona fide failure. It's a bona fide failure. Please. So, like, I would be okay with that. And the problem is, and this is what I've been saying since all this shit went down. MJF was hurt. There was no guaranteed timetable on when he'd be back. And Adam Cole turned on him for what? It makes no sense. Now, look, in the grand scheme of the story they told, it makes sense. I'm not saying it doesn't. He fucking had him, become his tag team partner. Had him defend the titles double nights sometimes. Weakened him more and more until he lost the title. Even if he didn't win it, as long as somebody else won it and he didn't see him win the belt, that's all that fucking mattered to him.
Exactly.
But then where do we go from here? Because now the whole group has been died. It's dead on arrival. The problem is, I love Matt Taven and I love Mike Bennett. There are no Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly.
What I gave.
Jesus. Hate that song still. But no, they're no Undisputed Era. They're not. The Undisputed Era is the Undisputed Era. It's Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish. I could give a fuck if Bobby Fish went out and bombed on TNA. I could give a fuck. Hire him back. Put those guys together. Then you want to add Wardlow as the insurance policy, go for it. But at the very least, you have 4 out of the 5 that could potentially be over and make this group go, right? Because at the end of the day, Wardlow had to fucking go back with MJF at some point, which is eventually where this is going to lead up. What is so frustrating to me is that they tried to shoehorn the Undisputed Era success and put it on a different faction that was already established, and they thought it would work, and it didn't. Yeah. It didn't even work one time. It hasn't worked. It will never work. The minute Kyle O'Reilly came back, they thought he would join, and he didn't because he wanted to do his own solo run. Because why would he fucking do it if the group is already dead on arrival to begin with? He would be essentially carrying more dead weight. And at this point, I wouldn't even bring Bobby Fish in. Nothing can salvage this now because the damage has already been done way too much.
I guess at this point, you're just waiting for Wardlow to once again turn and destroy the Devil. I feel that's the end game here, but do you catapult that at Double or Nothing, Roderick Strong losing this championship, or do you hold out a little longer? Again, Will Ospreay, been part of AEW since January, undefeated for 4 months, while Roderick Strong's been this champion now for going on 3 months. So, again, it's one of those matches where I think they have booked themselves in a corner, but the bigger story here is Will Ospreay, can you look past what happened to Bryan Danielson and use the Storm Driver to win? Because I think unless he does that, Roderick Strong will retain, Wardlow or not.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I can't take another fucking segment of these guys, and it sucks. It should work, but they've bungled the bag creatively on this so hard.
Right.
Well, it's because Tony doesn't know how to. It's all because Tony Khan doesn't know how to do a plan B or C. He always sticks with A until something fucks up, and then he's like, oh, I don't know what to do. Oh, I gotta do this. Oh, I gotta do that. And then
he didn't seem
has a
panic.
spaz.
He didn't seem panic prone though during the pandemic, where he was able to capitalize on the spot with somebody that was out with COVID.
That is what's so frustrating about this, because we've seen him do this. So I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll get some sort of sense of what the direction is, not only for the Undisputed Kingdom, but the AEW National Championship following this banger of a match, bruv. Going to be a classic.
It will be a good match at least. Yeah.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, as long as we enjoy ourselves more than we doubt the future of this company, I think we're okay as wrestling fans. And hopefully that means, good things. Well, that being said, we've had a lot of fun. We've had a lot of talk. Let's go ahead and pull the slots and start talking about what they're calling a triple main event, as we only have 3 matches left. And again, they're calling this triple main event because of the stakes in each match and the stories that have been told. And of course, a lot to be proven here. Let's go ahead and kick things off with not really a match, but madness. Because whether you're drunk, sober, pissed off, happy, in tune or not, at the concession stand, at the merch stand, at the Dippin' Dots, or watching on while some song's going to be playing on and on and on, please be born for greatness. You gotta love a little bit of anarchy, as we got, once again, for the 3rd year in a row, anarchy in the arena. It is the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada, in his first ever extreme circumstantial professional wrestling match. What the hell? The Rainmaker in an extreme circumstance. Corporate Okada, best man in the business. Let's fucking go. Current AEW Continental Champion. We, of course, have the EVPs, Nicholas and Matthew Jackson, and the scapegoat, Drake Perry. They call themselves the Elite. Again, subject, hindsight 2020. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, but again, you do what you do. Take it on what's being called Team AEW. FTR, Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler, Darby Allin, and, of course, the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. Now, we don't know what's going to come afterwards. We do know this. This is a battle for pride, a battle to define what is AEW. We're the best wrestle, or we are the absolute best wrestling. Bang. I'm just going to say this. Bryan Danielson comes in here with the most experience being in both the previous 2 Anarchy in the Arena matches. He lost the inaugural one. In fact, he was the guy that got incapacitated by Jake Hager and Chris Jericho. And, of course, he was part of the winning side in the second one last year alongside Blackpool Combat Club. But I think about also originally Eddie Kingston was involved in this. Of course, he's going to be out indefinitely. Please take care of Matt King. I also think about Claudio Castagnoli, where he says this. He doesn't want to see his friend hurt. But he also has been a guy looking from the outside, saying he has to be the wrestler he needs to be, not what he wants to be. I think Claudio Castagnoli is at a crossroads. I think that could come into play here during this anarchy. In a battle jockeying for power and absolute control where it is about you versus the company, you wonder if you're going to see the Elite win this time for the first time in Anarchy in the Arena, using every trump card possible, including Jeff Jarrett, and The Righteous, and Lance Archer, and Satnam Singh, and Jay Lethal. In fact, it would be Bryan Danielson and FTR tonight on Collision, taking on Jeff Jarrett, Satnam Singh, and Jay Lethal. Every time I have to say Double J's name, it just irks me. Well, I'm not sure what this will lead to, but I know this. Tag Team Championship has not been on the line since one back at Dynasty. Kazuchika Okada has been the most prolific fighting champion, truly the elite, calling himself now the best bout machine, and arguably the best thing right now in this company. I said what I said, my favorite worker, Corporate Okada for life. And we know Kenny Omega and Okada, they will be on a collision course at some point, probably over that Continental Championship, which I'm all for. But I also got the other side. I know there's bad blood with Darby Allin and Jack Perry. When you think about last year, it was Darby and Jack Perry in the Pillars Fatal 4-Way. Those two constantly share the AEW World Championship, as we called that last year, James. You, of course, have the ever-ending love of professional wrestling and how much they hold themselves to it in FTR, especially when it comes to tag team wrestling. And then you got Bryan Danielson who says he fucking loves AEW for what it represents. This is about bringing forward what AEW represents at the end of the day. And I pray that AEW team leads the way and wins. It's in my opinion, I just don't think the Elite need this. I don't. I get what they're saying. I get what they're trying to be. I get the fact that they started this whole thing back in 2019. But I feel like Team AEW has more in winning than losing because it would just cause the Elite to be more pissed off. This also would mean that Tony Khan is fully back in the driver's seat and the Elite's plan to change the world in their own way through this inception of theirs falls short on its ass. So I think for me, I got to go with Team AEW. It's a bold claim considering they are injured goods, but how much do you stack the deck in your favor for suspension of disbelief where you believe that it's a foregone conclusion? Call me crazy, but I'm going with Team AEW against the Elite. Now, James, I know you have your back turned, so I just want you to give a simple answer before you want to rant if you choose to. Otherwise, we'll move on because we don't have JJ's clip.
Give me a second.
You're fine, brother.
Just gotta turn.
I'll say that's Swivel Chair probably is not the most user-friendly.
No. Give me a minute.
Especially with a corded headset. You're fine, man. Get yourself in order. Y'all good. There we go. Okay.
Team AEW wins, no comment. No further comment.
All right. Very well said. Very justified.
I will say, if you want to hear a rant about the people that were in that match, go and watch the No DQ predictions on this very event, where JJ says all that needs to be said, and there's nothing more that needs to be said.
Hey, James, I got a favor to ask you during our pre-show tomorrow when we hype it up. Clip it, and we'll play it.
I will make sure.
All right. Well, that being said, why don't you go ahead and kick things off with this as we wonder who owns the keys and whose house?
Swerve's house.
As Swerve Strickland goes one-on-one defending the AEW World Championship against the Patriarch himself, Christian Cage. This has been a very fun story to see unfold with a lot of personal animosity and basically counterbalancing what Swerve Strickland has been to try and use it against him at the hands of his own son, quote unquote. Of course, this stems all the way back last year at AEW All In, where, of course, we saw that tag team cover match that Sting and Darby Allin, of course, won, with Swerve proverbially put in the coffin, buried 6 feet under. Why Christian Cage was buried 6 feet under prior to that at Revolution last year. Remember that match against Jack Perry. That being said, Christian Cage, he never forgot. And why he built his patriarchy, adopted a son, was a very tyrannical TNT champion. He's been stewing, thinking, and plotting. And it all came ahead here where he's looking to take everything away from Swerve, his own being, his own family, and of course, taking away the keys of the house in the AEW World Championship. Why Swerve's saying here in AEW, we're trying to build a dynasty. And he finally did that. Why still everybody calls him a footnote. And that just drives Swerve forward, as we've seen after overcoming Samoa Joe at Dynasty. And again, he's been on podcasts, he's been on talk shows, he's been on sports and radio. He has presented AEW and represented this company to the fullest as champion because that's what he wants to be. He wants to be the leader of this dynasty to truly show that this is all elite wrestling and what we're about here. And you don't earn a spot, you create it. We saw he created against Heyman and Page last year. But Christian Cage, we know this savvy worker that can outwork anybody and works everyone. And you know the patriarchy is not going to be too far away. And why he neutralized Nick Wayne and Prince Nana is back. And we also know the past is buried now with the Mogul Embassy dead on arrival. Something tells me here this is not going to be a simple one-on-one encounter. What are your thoughts on this story, and what do you have to say about this championship match, James?
Simply put, Swerve wins and overcomes all odds.
I mean, the result, again, I do say it's not about the results, about the story, and the fact that they are building the story off of last year, August, quite proficiently, might I add, where we literally seen eye for an eye, blood for blood. A dread, though, that was just, geez, that was sickening to see that, ripping that out of the man's head. Damn. Yeah. And again, Christian Cage, he is the savvy veteran here that is going to work everybody as always. But I do wonder what this means when this guy fails. And does he leave his patriarchy to try and redefine himself, regather himself? Or does the patriarchy finally turn against him? Where does the Jezebel and Killswitch stand in all this? And what will his son think of his father, quote unquote? But yeah, I think Swerve Strickland retains. And that just goes to show, again, who could face him coming out of the Forbidden Door Casino Gauntlet. I know people are thinking that they're going to get Will Ospreay versus Swerve Strickland, possibly Stadium. I don't know if they're going to go straight into that. I think you still hold that off. Why you want to put the rocket on proverbial back of people like Swerve Strickland, like Kazuchika Okada, like Will Ospreay. Swerve Strickland just started. He's only had this title for a little over a month. And we also know Samoa Joe will be coming back after him sooner rather than later if we've seen anything. So I think I have to go with Swerve here, but I'm curious to see what it means next for Christian Cage. Because again, this was out of nowhere, but it made sense from a story standpoint. But there's no reason Christian Cage should be the AEW World Champion at this point.
No, I agree. It's too soon for that to be the case. It needs to, I truly feel it needs to kind of stay on Swerve because Swerve just got the belt. You're not going to take it off of him this soon. With that said, before we wrap things up, Noah, I have something that I feel needs to be shown, and it relates to Double or Nothing. I don't know who did these posters, but god damn, this needs to be talked about. Look at the sleekness of this shit, man.
I swear the promotions of AEW with these posters is S rank.
Yeah, for real, man. Like, look at that. And I can zoom in on that, so that's awesome. Like,
that should be what you use to hype up these matches right here.
Seriously, man.
Give those to Jeff and JJ and have them maximize those. Those are fucking awesome.
And by the way, I'm glad Nana's still with Swerve at least. That's awesome. I'm super happy about that.
That means you're going to get a star-studded performance with backup dancers tomorrow as we get the Nana dance for Swerve's house, James.
Yes, but like, dude, the Double or Nothing posters are nuts. I love the Christian Cage and Swerve one. But my favorite one, I think, has got to be the Timeless and Serena one. Like, dude, look at that.
That is cinema. That is
dude,
a poster.
It's so good. I love Ospreay and Strawn, too. This is super dope. I love the
That's what Extreme Rules looks like.
Yeah, man. Like, that looks amazing.
Yeah, send that to Jeff and JJ and have them beachmize those. They can just
seriously, these should be the posters we utilize, seriously, going forward. Okay, so they credit somebody with these posters.
Yeah.
And they did Dynasties. So the MFster is the artist so I'm just gonna show his profile. Shower him with some love and tell him the Multiverse of Media sent you, because this dude he has got it, man. Like, he has got the artwork in spades. And the greatest part is, if I can zoom in that far, that means he does these posters in like 4K, dude.
It doesn't get
that's
absurd. That again, some people have an incredible talent, just like Mel Coleman does with her artistic takes, as we have seen, including for the Don Callis family. There are some people there that are truly gifted, and then there's those that use their own gifts for their own selfish gain.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but seriously, to the MFster, like, bravo, brother, bravo.
Yeah, but yes, clearly we're going to go with Swerve Strickland, because this house, he owns the keys, and he's not ready to give up the lease anytime soon. It's going to be a hell of a match, though, and I'm very curious to see who's going to be more diabolical in their approach, because we're looking at two of the most manipulative, evil mental games in the business. The only difference is Christian Cage has far more experience.
Yeah, exactly, for sure.
I think that's pretty much the tell of the tape there. So, Swerve for the win. Christian Cage, never be the same again. All right. Well, that being said, we've had a lot of great fun, a lot of great talk. We've had a lot of interesting banter. We've had a lot of aspirations for the future. But let's go ahead and talk about the one match that probably has had the most story put into it, and honestly the highest stakes, because for both women, it's put up or shut up. Time to remove an asterisk. Were you meant to be in this spot, or truly are you just talk and you can't back up the walk? And can you actually walk out? Let's go ahead and talk about the TBS Championship. It is Little Nightingale defending the gold, and honestly, her entire rise in AEW against the CEO, Mercedes Moné.
Oh, wow. Are they actually main eventing with this?
Well, it's triple main event, but let's be honest here, man. Out of these three, I think it's safe to say this is the match right now that has everybody on the edge of their seat.
Got it. Okay, so ooh, this is going to Mercedes is turning heel and winning the belt via devious circumstances. I do believe she will have the manager services of the bald man that we all know and love, and also hate sometimes,
I'm
depending
about
on
to
the
say love,
person.
quote unquote, with that friggin' gnat. I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah, he will definitely get what's it? Why am I blanking on his name?
Stokely Hathaway.
Stokely Hathaway, right? I was about to call him Malcolm Bivens. I'm like, wait a minute, that's been ages now. Yeah, been
NXT, bro.
yeah, been Malcolm Bivens since 2021.
Good Lord, continue.
Oh my God. But no, yeah, I think I almost did it. Oops. Oops. I think that Stokely Hathaway is going to give Mercedes the belt here. I think the end game is somehow Stokely has always been in the pocket of Stokely Hathaway, and this is his meal ticket. And I truly feel that this is going to Mercedes. So yeah, I think that's gonna be how she wins it, is because of the helps of Stokely Hathaway. So yay, I'm happy for this pairing. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, Mercedes got a title way too quick." And I'm like, guys, it's the TBS and TNT titles. Like, they're meant to be defended sporadically and haphazardly.
They're television titles.
It has been since their inception. It has been since they were first introduced. That has not changed. It doesn't matter where you are on the card. You could be the low end card or main event level talent from the indies. You want a shot at the title, you're pretty much guaranteed a shot at that title. It doesn't matter who you are. That's the uniqueness of the television titles. So I've never really had an issue with this. I don't think this is the biggest issue I have. This is going to be Mercedes's coming out party, in that it's now my moment. You took my moment back at Resurgence last year. I'm now getting one back up on you. So enjoy your injury now. Like, I feel like she's going to do a Pillmanization angle somewhat. Thanks to the help of Stokely Hathaway and God knows who else that might join, maybe an entourage of sorts.
Well, I know one point. I know one point. Here's what I know about business: a CEO always has a cabinet. I know at one point the Renegade Twins were interested in maybe being alongside Monet. Imagine having those two as backup security. I know also people put out the idea of Chris Statlander turning on her best friend, but with the offset of heels and bounces, Chris, as well as individuals, I don't believe has a purpose behind going heel. Then again, it was Trent that literally whispered something in her ear the day he turned, and we still don't know what that was. And why Chris Statlander and Stokely have been in strong support of Willow Nightingale every time with backstage post-show comments endorsing her. It's been Willow that's kind of been, doing things more on her own. Let's think about this. Chris Statlander was the former TBS champion before Julia Hart. She was never pinned or submitted when she lost that belt. She never got her tragically obligated one-on-one rematch. And Willow Nightingale beat Chris Statlander in one-on-one action in a great kickoff match last year at World's End. Now, truth be told, as a tag team, they won their fair share of matches, but they did lose that street fight, though, to Julia Hart and Sky Blue. And we really haven't seen a lot of Chris Statlander as of late when it comes to her being presented outside a tag team affair alongside Will, including this past Rampage, where against Alex Windsor, great to see her, and Anna Jay, they were able to get the tag team win, but Monet came out and all hell broke loose. Proverbial cat fight without you on the call. Just saying, it was what it was. It literally was that. Good grief on mine. She was looking to snatch a bitch. Anyway.
I see.
It's just one of those things right now where I don't know the direction for Chris Statlander, but I think Chris Statlander is owed a one-on-one rematch at some point for the TBS title. And that miscommunication spot Daly's place with a slap got connected on Willow Nightingale to Chris was trying to pull Monet back. Like, where does Monet and Chris stand? Because Monet introduced herself to Chris, and Chris said, welcome to AEW. It seemed like there's been no, bad blood there. Then she almost said it for the Monet Maker, and Willow saved her out of that. I almost feel like Stokely and Chris is too obvious to go alongside the CEO. I still had out for the Renegade Twins. But regardless, this is truly Monet's test of fate. We know she's been training. We know how much she says she loves this, but she has not been involved in the ring in over a year. And there's no way to duplicate that. Ring rust is your worst factor. So I think that Monet has to win tomorrow night for something to happen moving forward for all the women in AEW and the TBS championship. I love Willow. I've loved Willow's rise ever since she won the NWA Strong Women's Championship, only to lose at Independence Day last year in Corrigan Hall to Julia. And then, of course, she won the Owen, and she made an event at Ring of Honor against Athena for the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship. She's had incredible moments ever since becoming all these, and she's been a constant forward worker. This chubby, unorthodox, smiley powerhouse. Who would have thunk that this person could thrive in the wrestling business? And look at where she stands. But it's a matter of circumstance. And I do wonder if people are going to put that asterisk next to her if she loses against Mercedes Moné. It does seem like a foregone conclusion, but if Moné loses, she might as well close business on her CEO office. I got to go with Moné as well. But where does Willow stand after this versus if Chris goes heel, if Stokely goes heel, if the Renegade Twins show up? Does Willow lose her smile once and for all? How does Willow bounce back from this? There's a lot of suspension of disbelief here with this match, James, more than meets the eye. Chris saying Mercedes Moné wins, Chris Statler turns on Willow Nightingale. You're talking more about Stokely halfway, but do you think Chris actually turns on Willow?
I'm not entirely sure about that, at least at this point yet. But I know Stokely is going to get involved somehow. I feel like Stokely is more the shoe-in because I feel like that's more the natural pairing between Mercedes and Stokely. But, yeah.
Well, I guess we'll find out soon enough with a little over 24 hours if Moné not only talks, but she actually walks out. The new face of TBS, the CEO with the gold. Find out soon enough.
Real quick, just a quick update on a woman we haven't heard from in a while that used to be a part of AEW. Little update on Paige Van Zandt. Apparently, she is main eventing a Misfits boxing event, fighting Ellie Brooke.
Interesting. Well, again, Golden Glove boxer, of course. And, of course, with the women's division, we also wondered when we will see the returns likes of Dr. Baker, DMD, the return of one Ty Mello, the return of one Jamie Hayter, and what other faces, and AEW pay-per-views, will we see a new signing? Will we see somebody else join AEW in this continued growth of their dynasty? You know they haven't done that for a bit, but I'm just putting it out there.
Have they teased it?
No, but you also know sometimes they don't tease it, they just do it. So
that's true.
And again, we're going back to where it all began, James. It was May 25th, 2019, where AEW was born. Now, May 26, 2024, AEW has to adapt, or some literally could perish here. This is going to be the evolution of All Elite Wrestling, and hopefully it's for the better. With that being said, thank you all for tuning in to another edition of City Predicting. Can't believe I've done two of these in one day. I am insane, but I thank you all again, as always, for watching this live or on demand. Stay tuned for the forum. Again, it will be shortly put out live everywhere. And again, James, good luck. I have them written down, but you can fill out the form too in case you change your mind based on what happens tonight on Collision, because we're going to hear from Will Nightingale. We got FTR and Bryan Danielson in trios actions. We got the Lucha Brothers versus the Guns, where the Lucha Brothers wins. Tomorrow's match will be for the Unified Trios Championships, and I'm sure there'll be more go-home angles to come out tonight's Collision that might sway people's judgments. And again, Emmanuel, God bless you. Good to see you. Good to see Arlene too. Don't forget about to send you the form as well. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you later on tonight for the weekly Saturday Night Shenanigans, hosted in collaboration with Jeff motherfucking Meacham and, of course, the Mega Wrestling JJ Williams. Stay tuned for that. Of course, tonight, 11 p.m. Standard Time. Sure to be another wild night. And I think that being said, we'll see you next time also here at Minute Brothers from Mia for City Predicting. I believe the next City Predicting, according to the Week on a Die schedule, is going to be either TNA Against All Odds, NXT Battleground, WWE Clash at the Castle. There is no Ring of Honor until July, as we, of course, have Death Before Dishonor. And I feel like I forget. And AEW, of course, has the Forbidden Door. So that will be on the tab for, of course, City Predicting as we keep moving forward 2024 in all things wrestling. Shout out to the AEW family. Again, follow the Simple YouTube channel to give your opinions on all the greatest shows and the biggest events are now professional wrestling. Check out the AEW Impromptu playlist, see what my friends always talk about and how they piss me off. And of course, find the forums on my Twitter at nfoster1916, where I want to encourage you to just enjoy life and enjoy professional wrestling. That being said, James, any closing thoughts before we bid everybody a fine adieu and rest up before open mic night tonight too?
I will say I'm looking forward to the show, at least from a match quality standpoint. I mean, if anything, we know is fact is Tony Khan still the king of putting together a great pay-per-view match-wise. So there is that. I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, looking forward to calling the matches with you, good sir. And with that being said, I only have 2 things to plug. As of right now, I have not recorded my podcast yet, so I'm not going to promote that until tomorrow because that's the only time I'm going to have to fucking record it because I've been that damn busy. With this particular documentary, been really going hard on that. 1 in a Million is coming along swimmingly. We have so much progress on this, and what you will see is going to blow your mind if you've been watching the trailer. And then also his speech. If you haven't checked out his speech or the first trailer yet, please go and do so. It is on his YouTube channel. Just search on the YouTube search engine Gary Hebert, or go on www.garyhebert.com.
Well, I guess with that being said, again, folks, we'll see you tonight from Might Night, but we'll be covering Double or Nothing starting 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow night here at Multiverse of Mia for live watch-along events. Please join the fun if you can. Check out AEW Double or Nothing if you can, courtesy of your local pay-per-view providers. And let's just have a good time and see truly if AEW reminds us why we love professional wrestling. Damn it.
Yes.
Well, that being said, it's been a lot of fun. I thank you all for tuning in, but we now bid you a fine adieu. So until next time, on behalf of Animal, make a positive impact in life and have a good night. For we are not just AEW, we are the Jet Media Network, Multiverse of Media. Have a good night, folks.
Double or nothing! Double or nothing!
Yeah, it's going to be out of control tomorrow, and it's not just going to be because of anarchy. I
Out of control, you say? Ha! I look forward to it.
I walked right into that.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, folks.